It's illegal to shoot firearms in the air. What about
if you were to
army
strap
grade
Biden
rockets?
onto a missile, it would be a Predator missile.
It would be a what?
Predator missile.
I think you have to strap both the presidents on there for it to be a predator missile.
No, I don't believe that Trump is Predator, but you can go off your fictitious facts, and I can go off.
I mean,
my
it's not necessarily
everyday on the
fictitious
TV
facts.
news.
It's like he talked about how he liked walking into people's changing rooms. Like it's something he
Did he talk about it, or was
yes,
it
on a
something that other
radio
people had
show.
talked
He
about?
came out and he was like, because I own the competition, I get to walk into their changing rooms.
And Biden sniffed, kissed, and groped children on TV every single day that he was on TV for a while. So
I already agreed that Biden was stripped to the top of the missile. You seem to be having a problem strapping Trump to it.
I don't believe Trump should be strapped to it.
Well, I
disagree with
think
you.
that when you walk into people's changing rooms just because you own the place, it's a little bit predatory. Yeah. Just because you own the
You
place
have
doesn't
your
mean...
opinions. That's fair.
For sure.
Just because you work somewhere doesn't mean
You have the right to walk in on people while they're changing.
you don't like it. Don't work there.
If you don't like being preyed upon, just don't work here.
Preyed
Hey,
upon
Predator.
or looked at?
Preyed upon, this...
Preyed
Yeah.
upon or looked at?
Preyed upon.
Because I remember from my recollection reading into it, a lot of those people would go up to him and they could try to get him to
The Miss America pageants, where a majority of the contenders were underage.
You could say that.
I mean, I can say that. We can look
Majority,
up.
not
We can look up how many people participated in the Miss America pageants.
What's the age of
and-
consent in what's the age of consent of that state?
Jesus Christ, dude, come on. He's going into people's changing rooms.
I don't know. I feel that it's his business. If you don't want to be part of that,
Whether or not you're allowed to fuck minors, they're minors. Like, going into people's rooms while they're naked just
I don't
because
know.
you
I think
can is predatory.
sitting here and try to preach morality when you have.
I'm not trying to preach morality. I'm just saying, hey,
Yes,
one
that's
person's
exactly.
no, one person's done predator shit, the other person's also done predator shit. That's literally it. I'm not preaching morality. I'm not saying what they should have done. I'm just saying both of them have done predator shit.
I don't 100% agree with the views on the pageant thing, but that's fair, I guess.
I mean, I don't know. Is it like?
You don't want to
Which
be
part?
part of it. Don't work there. I mean,
But like, so then you don't think it's a predator-esque to walk in on people while they're changing just because you can?
I think it's predator-esque to try to kiss kids on the mouth on live TV.
Right? And do you think it's predator-esque to walk in on people while they're changing just because you can?
Walk in.
Because I agreed to yours. You don't think it's predator-esque to walk in on people while they're...
going after someone? Yes, I do. I do agree with that.
So you don't think it's predator-esque to
Walking
walk
in
in
and
on
looking? No, I don't.
on their naked just because you can? Yeah. Okay, that's weird, man. That's weird. I feel like you shouldn't be able to just
Says the
walk in
one
and...
who-
Yeah, I feel like you shouldn't be able to just walk in and look at people naked.
Okay, whatever, that's fine.
You're acting like I haven't agreed to everything you said about Biden, and I have. What he's done has been predator-esque, and you're just imagining that what Biden hasn't because, well, he owned the place, and he can run it however he wants. It's predator-esque. Just because you have the ability to be a predator
Be your
doesn't
opinion,
allow you
sure.
the right to be a predator.
To be your opinion, sure.
I mean, which part of that do you disagree with?
I've already repeatedly told you what part.
Enemy cluster strike. Take cover.
I mean,
Because you want me to reiterate it again and again and again and again.
okay. It just seems like a confusing thing that one, using your power to look at people naked is not
As a
predator.
president, trying to put your mouth on the child's mouth, face, and forehead is a little bit weird too, but...
Well, because presidents kissing babies isn't like an actual term, you know?
Sure, but when the
Famous-
kid's
a
pulling
famous
away and doesn't
term.
want it, you force them, then that's a little bit different. Multitude of videos of him trying to
I
kiss
see.
children.
I think it's actually very interesting that the instance where he kissed. I'm assuming you're talking about the blonde girl, right? The little blonde girl.
Multitude. Doesn't have to just be the blonde girl. There's a multitude of them.
Well, because in that
You
situation,
can take the instance of the blonde girl, sure.
yeah, because what I'm looking at is a dude the child who's come up and they're in front of the president, or the vice president at the time, right? Or was he a senator?
It wasn't coming up to him as the vice president, I believe. That was when he was
I think he was vice president.
trying to go against. I think he was trying to go against Trump for the presidency at that point.
Oh. For sure. So there's a person coming up in front of a famous political figure to take a picture. And he went in to kiss her.
Because her
he
parents
went in to
told them
kiss.
to.
Yeah, he went in to go kiss her head.
She pulled away and he forced a kiss. Yeah.
Yeah, she pulled away like an inch, and then he kissed her forehead because they're in a photo op.
He pulled away a little farther than an inch. Did you see that video?
Yeah, I saw the video.
She pulled the fuck away from him, bro. It was quite a bit more than an inch.
I mean, we can pull it up if you want.
Yeah, I don't really care. You're the one getting all huffy puffy over it.
Dude, I'm not. I've already agreed to you that Joe Biden's shit is predator-esque. But I think it's kind of interesting that you're conflating that with actually walking in on naked people. And walking in on naked people isn't the one that was more extreme.
Allied counter UAV activated.
A single act of a photo op kissing a person on the forehead gone fucking awkward.
Single.
Yes, single act.
Yes.
Yeah.
A single act strewn across.
For sure. Okay, fine. I'll retract myself. A multitude of acts of awkward interactions with people in front of cameras versus someone who looks at naked children while they're changing.
And
Because they can.
Cute things that he said, talking about how.
Right. So the instance where the multiple awkward instances on camera versus the multiple looking at people while they're changing.
Try to get me to look stupid on your screen where you want to, but I'm saying.
I'm just trying to be
agree.
extremely clear about what I'm saying.
I extremely understand that you're being extremely clear.
For
I
sure.
get it.
Well,
I don't agree that it's to the same degree.
Keep hitting them. We have this.
Well, if that's where we want to leave it, we could leave it there. We both understand where we're coming from. We both understand the points we're making. And I guess we're both confused by the other one's logic.
Friendly is all unsafe for Overwatch. Now return home bloody and empty handed. Good work.
Well, it's a little strange to me that you grab onto one instance of anything and conflate it and inflate it.
I don't feel like I grabbed onto one instance
Well, that's
here.
the only thing that you came up with that's predatory, besides
I mean, I could.
that he said that he did that on a radio
I mean, I could
show.
probably come up with others, but
Off the top of your head right now, a second, without having to go search.
yeah. Do you want
I
them
mean,
or?
the whole grabber by the crotch thing
Yeah,
that he said
you
that
know
he could
one.
do
See,
because that's not
you know one of
predatory.
them. Yeah.
No, I know exactly what you're gonna say.
I think implying that your wealth allowing you to grab people by the pussy is predatory.
But I don't think that's predatory either. You want me to explain why I don't believe that that's predatory?
Yes, very much.
I don't believe that's predatory because people with this money generally aren't allowed to do things of that nature.
So does that make it okay for people with wealth and money then?
I believe that if somebody gives consent, yes.
Well, see, we're not talking about the instances where people give consent because no one gives a fuck about those.
See, you're changing it to the place
No,
where they
I'm.
don't give
See,
consent
listen.
in this
I'll
instance.
repeat what I said exactly because I chose my words very carefully. The implication that having money allows you to grab people by the pussy is predatory. Yes.
Well, he didn't say that since I have money, I'm allowed to. He says that since I have money, women let you.
You see a difference with that
I
distinction?
see a very distinct difference.
What's the difference between
One is
between
saying that I have the right to do this. The other one is they give me the right to
Kill
do
confirmed.
this.
Weapons
One
hot.
is self-proclaimed. The other one is they give it to me. I have had multitude of instances where this person has given consent because of my money, compared to I just grabbed by the pussy because I got money. It's a huge difference.
Alright, so if I'm confused, we could also look this one up. He says that because I'm rich, they just let you do it.
When you have money,
Right?
girls
Because I'm
let you do
rich,
that,
yeah,
yes.
they just let you do that. You can just walk up and grab them by the pussy.
He didn't say just walk up.
He didn't say just walk up and grab them by the pussy?
Confirm.
So,
Yeah. I mean, I could look it up. I have a whole stream layout set for Googling shit.
The enemy has the lead.
Jesus, that's not what I expected for that sentence to say.
What'd you find? What'd you search?
I'm not reading that on your screen, but
Oh,
I'll tell you the
Jesus.
sentence
That's terrible, then.
it's not something bad, it's just the wording that he uses. Like, I can't believe well, I mean, it was a men's radio station, so I mean, saying something like that, yeah, I understand, but out of context, Jesus. Where is the line where he actually says that? Because, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful.
Oh,
I just start
this sucks
kissing
because I'm
them.
on
It's
core.
like
That's why.
a magnet. Just kiss. I don't even wait. Oh, that's a little rapey.
Yeah. Did he say I don't even
See,
wait?
right. He says, I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. Just kiss. I don't even wait. That's a little rapey.
Yeah,
I will give you
a little
that.
predatory.
And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. See, they let you. That's the consent.
Would they let you just go up without asking, though? Like, when you look all of those words in context together. Like, in context together. Not separate them out.
But
To
there's
be like, what does this
nowhere
word
in
mean?
here talking about walking up and grabbing her by the pussy. Not a single line of that is on.
You're right. He just says, I don't wait. I just do it. And when you
No,
couple...
he says, I don't wait. I just start kissing her.
Right. And when you
It's like
couple
a magnet.
that...
Just kiss. I don't even wait.
Yeah. And when you couple that with... And they just let you... And then I grab them by the pussy, they just let you do it?
The grabbing by the pussy sentence is a completely separate sentence from the kissing her just randomly.
For sure. Sorry, then maybe I got it confused. What was the sentence you read right after the kisser part?
I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. Just kiss. I don't even wait.
Kill confirmed.
I thought there was something else you read after that.
And when you're a star, they let you do it.
Yeah.
Kill confirmed.
So that part, the implying that they just let you do
They
it.
let you do it.
Along-
That's the part that you feel is predatory.
No.
Okay.
The just let you do it in context with the I just go up and start kissing them. Those
No, I
two
will give
things
you the
in
just start kissing
context
them part.
together.
Yeah, that
No,
part-
both of them in
just start
context
kissing
together.
them. I don't believe in context together. No, I think they're two separate ideas. But that just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. Just kiss. Don't eat. Yes, that's predatory. That's right. I will give you that.
Look, I really think it's important to look at all things in context, and I think that the context of this is also important to look at.
Seeing as how
So that's two predatory
girls
things.
do randomly just let people that are stars do stuff like
Just
that.
because there are some gold diggers doesn't allow people to do
Gold
that to
diggers
all
just
women.
just to have sex with them. I don't think that's
Yes.
the same as gold digging.
Sure, there are people who do like to just have sex with people, and there are people who gold dig. But just because both of those groups exist doesn't mean that you should just go up to girls and start kissing them, not even ask, just kiss. Because they let you do it.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Because that's also what
I
people
mean,
talk about when they talk
how
about
many
rape
girls
culture, is that a lot of the time...
Well, no. Hold on. How many girls say they want a man to just walk up, grab them by the throat, walk up and just kiss them, and that's their biggest fantasy for a guy to just assert himself this way. There's
Yeah,
videos all over the internet of this.
Yeah, some girls talk about that for sure. And sure, I'll even admit that some girls probably would want to just be walked up off the street and be like grabbed by the throat or some shit like that. There are probably a few people out there who are like that. Just like there are some people out there who like to fuck people in fur animals. It's just their kink. But just because there are some people out there who do that doesn't mean that that is something that should allow you should be allowed to do because you're wealthy. And I think implying that is part of the predatory-esque nature of him. And I think it gets extra predatory when you look at the nature of his business being with children.
The predatory of that, but, I mean, you can throw it all together and make it a big soup of...
I mean, it is. It's ultimately, that's my whole point, is that he is predatory-esque, and that there's more than one thing that points to this. It is the soup. I'd probably be hard-pressed for a third one right on the spot. If you gave me a few moments, I could probably do it. Okay, good. This match is over. I'm getting out of core.
Rest your wounds. We return soon.
Yeah, without looking it up, give me a moment.
Because Bill said...
We have...
Bill said that his sister is the love of his life.
Well... If you're going, but if you're going to take that, are you going to say that all of his words he's saying with intention and meaning? Because that's a stance you'd have to take if that's words you're gonna have to hold him account for. It's either he means what he says or he's fucking up his speech.
I mean, isn't that what the left does to Trump? Constantly hammers him from both sides? Yes, they do. He's inept, so he just says random shit. Oh, but he means everything he says. Yes, he's hammered that way constantly.
I see that as a fair criticism.
But do the same shit.
But I don't think they get set. Actually, people do say that he is mentally inept. They have called for the 25th Amendment for Trump before. But I think that the magnitude, I guess, would just be different. The people are saying that Biden's actually brain dead. Like he's full. No, like they say he's full on dead. Like he's actually not there. Yeah.
That's what the difference is. There's no diagnosis either of them. So.
That's fair. There is no diagnosis for either of them.
The speculation is all we have. So you've called Trump inept in his words before.
Yeah. But I still feel like he... sometimes he fucks up sentences.
Biden is running
but
for president.
No,
I held to the same standard as the actual president. Regardless of your
I genuinely, if you want my stance on it, it's a Freudian slip. But I was just asking you for... Because I know that you think he is genuinely dead sometimes. Like,
I have seen him say sentences where his brain wasn't there. So,
right.
Just like I have seen Trump do the same thing, but like you said, not to the same magnitude.
Oh, shoot. No, I'm in another core match. I'm leaving. I'm done. Out of this. I mean... That is a fair criticism that people do criticize.
I think the reason why Trump is seen as inept in his words is because he talks so fucking much.
Well, it's probably because the words he chooses don't make sense a lot.
And talk and talk and talk and
I mean, I feel like the difference...
People see it as stammering, and they will be like, bro, shut up. You talk so fucking much.
Yeah, I feel like the difference...
Half the shit you say doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, I feel like the difference between Trump's and Biden's ineptitude when it comes to speaking is that Biden fucks the words up, and Trump says fucked up shit with his words, and that's kind of like the stance I've usually had.
That's you're of the mindset that everything that comes out of his mouth will be fucked shit. So you already are.
No, What do you mean? I'm always willing to admit when someone on the other side does good things.
Just because you're willing to admit it doesn't mean that you're sitting here with open ears ready to accept it.
Yeah, I'm listen to all the shit he does. Yes, at this point, when I hear someone say Trump...
where it's like, that was good shit, you were like, no, please, the racist. What?
Just because someone can say one good thing in one good speech doesn't necessarily change their whole output on that. But also, when you bring me evidence
And
of
the
Trump,
things that he does, and you only. I mean, I keep saying you, and I feel that's unfair because I don't mean you when I say you.
mhm.
But leftists, as a blanket statement, will hear him say something, not hear his exact words, automatically say this is what he said, and it have almost little to nothing to do with what he actually said. Like the inject bleach into your fucking lungs. Like where the fuck?
Look, I think the difference between Biden and Trump is that Trump says shit that ultimately doesn't make sense, and while Biden struggles to say stuff, and I think that's the problem. And I think that when you look at certain things that Trump says, and I will easily admit that when I hear someone say, "Oh, Trump just said something," or "Trump just said something," no, I'm not prepared to hear a work of art. I'm not prepared to hear a scholarly article. That's not what I'm expecting, because I judge my expectations based off what I've seen. And usually, what I've seen is that he'll either promote something that is unfeasible or he'll promote something that I am utterly against. So, that's usually what I talk about with his ineptitude, because when you think about his proposals and stuff, usually they can't be done. And then also, he shoots himself in the foot like no one's ever seen. Like when he shot himself in the foot with the gun thing. I don't know how that didn't blow back on him more. It should have, but like
I don't know where it even
that's a different level. That's a
disappeared completely.
it's a different level of ineptitude than them. So if we're gonna
But
talk,
that wasn't inept. That was him to switch his views on a rotating elbow. Because he got voted into office with the strong, we need guns, we need rights, we need our freedom, make America great.
right, so it's
And he's
pretty inept
sitting
of him to
here.
switch that. Yeah.
No, that's not inept. That's the wrong word.
Okay, well then just use that word.
Use inept.
No, use the word that you would switch inept with.
I would say hypocritical, but that's. I
Well,
feel
because
that
the
that
word that you
situation
would
is.
the word that we need to use to describe here needs to be able to encompass not just
You
going
can
back
use
on.
more than one word.
Well, we have a lot of words. I would like to use one word when possible.
You would like to use one word to fit your narrative. Makes
I would like
sense.
to, yes, I would like to find one word that accurately describes what I'm talking about and use
I
that to describe
feel
that thing when I'm
that
talking
him
about it,
doing
yes.
the gun thing and going back on the people that got him into the office,
Right,
i.e., the people with guns, more so than not.
right.
Yes, I see that as hypocritical, not inept.
Right, but what I guess what I'm getting at is that what I'm reaching to then is more than hypocritical. Sure, hypocritical can be one facet inside of it, but it is more than just that. It's a matter of what he
I don't
proposed.
see that as more though in that sense.
It's a matter of what he proposes. He's not able to get done, and he proposes things that not only are counteractive but hurts him, and seems to be for no reason other than appearance, and thus he has
Okay,
hurt. He
well,
has,
answer me this then, Ricky. If he proposes something that his own party disagrees with, and the people that hate him agree with, why wasn't it put through? Why didn't they put that through and into action to make him look bad? Why wasn't that put into
because the
action?
Republican Party was in control of the Senate and the House 2 years ago, so nothing
Uh,
Democratic could go through Congress.
Nancy Pelosi completely controls that whole side of the house.
Yes, now she does after the election, but 2 years ago she didn't, and that's when all this was happening. And he had switched back on it very quickly. I think he flipped back on it in like 2 weeks, maybe less than that. So I guess what I'm talking about is I need a word that describes a certain amount of failure, like an object amount of failure and an inability to do what you need to be done that is short of ineptitude, because ineptitude also seems for you to imply some sort of physical disability. So I need a word that describes all of that short of physical
I don't know. If you could put a list in
inability.
front of me of the things that he wanted to put through and had actually tried to push, not just saying he was going to, but actually tried and wasn't able to, compared to the list that Obama did, because Obama wasn't called inept his entire
Obama was absolutely called inept.
career.
Obama
Not
gets
the same
called
as Trump
Obama.
is.
Obama gets called
Not the same as
inept,
Trump
a
is.
failure, a traitor. He definitely gets called all that stuff. He gets called the worst
Not
president in
the same
American
as Trump.
history regularly.
Which I do kind of believe that. but-
Exactly. So, yeah. Probably not as much as Trump, no. It's hard to be the best at being the worst. Or being the most hated, at least. The worst is too loaded of a word. But definitely the least
If
liked.
America is a racist, hateful country like Black Lives Matter would have you believe, or no, let's even skip
I don't
that.
think they're trying
If
to have you
America was a
believe that the world
racist,
is that America is
hateful
racist
country
and
that
hateful.
the liberal news media would have you believe, why wasn't Obama hated more than Trump?
Obama was absolutely hated an immense amount.
Incorrect. Because you can look at polls and see that that's incorrect.
You don't think Obama had to deal with an objective amount of
None that
bullshit?
didn't say that. Never said that. Never said that one time. I know as a president, you always meet that pushback. 100%. Never said he didn't. But Trump
You don't think
has
Obama was hated just for
an
being
approval
black
rate. No,
and
don't
all
agree
that?
he
You
was
don't.
only hated
You don't
for
think
just being
that?
black.
No. I didn't ask if he was only hated. I asked if he was hated for being black. I would never say it's a
Probably by
caveat.
the racist KKK people, sure.
No, like just in general.
That's
You think that's
an
like?
unfair
Do you think
point.
that's something that he
In
had to
general,
face at
no,
all?
I don't agree with you. No, I don't agree that just because he was black, he was hated by people in politics that weren't racist. No.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that people would probably point to is the fact that a lot of Americans still think his wife was a man and that he was gay.
But what does that have to do with anything?
Well, because no other female,
Michelle is a man.
no
Look at
other
his penis.
no other first lady has ever been insulted in such a way.
No other first lady has.
But the
seen
black first
such
lady has been seen as a
totally
woman,
erect
and I could pull
on
up
camera.
clips, and I could pull up clips for you in 20 seconds of official newsreel people calling her a monkey.
Racists. Yes.
Racist, yes.
That's what I said. People
Yes.
that were not racist.
So when you're asking,
Now
so
get
you're
rid of the racists.
wait.
Get rid of the racists. That's what we already said.
You want me to give you instances of when only non-racists would give racist anger towards Obama is what you're asking me to give you right now?
I never once said that.
Because okay, sorry, I might be confused.
No,
what I thought
back for hatred.
Yeah,
towards them
we're-
that weren't racist. Because
yeah.
the racist, yes, needs to be cut out.
so
Like the racist,
so where I thought we
well,
were
not
just
racist, but the
because
hateful people on the left that hate Trump for being Trump
right.
have actually zero standing for the actual real amount of real hatred they have towards him.
Wait, what? Wait, hold up. Before we go to this totally new point, where I thought we were just now, is that
Well, I was
you
trying to
asked.
take the fringes out.
I know, but
Take
you
the fringes out. The extreme hate.
where I thought we were just now was you asked me if America is as such a racist country as the leftist news would leave us to believe, and one, I don't believe the news is leftist, and I don't think they're trying to believe the whole country is racist, but if we are to believe that the country is as racist as the leftist news would like us to believe, then why didn't Obama face more hate than Trump? And my response was Obama absolutely did face a whole bunch of pushback for explicitly just being black. A whole bunch.
I don't.
Yes.
I don't.
And I don't think you need to show that the amount of hatred Obama felt was more than Trump's in order to demonstrate that the hatred Obama felt was based off racism. I don't think there needs to be more. I don't think you need to have more.
You can prove is the reason why he got attacked for being
No,
a shit.
the best I can
Being
do.
called a shitty president has nothing to do with the fact that he's
The
black.
best I can do is point to certain tropes and things that were applied to him, and see if those tropes and things were racist and currently applied in racist terms. and it seems that they were.
It just feels like nitpicking this or that just because
I'm
it's
literally
just what you
directly
want to
answering
see.
the question that you asked me, where is this hatred, and I'm directly pointing you to where this hatred is. It's not nitpicking. It is the first one that came to
Well,
mind, but
no,
we can do
I
deeper
never said
research
he
if you would
didn't
like
have.
to.
I never said that he didn't have hatred, and I said yes, there's racism, but did I say that if it was as I asked you, and I don't feel that you answered correctly. Not correctly, it's the wrong word. I don't feel you answered fully better. That if if this country is as racist as what I believe the liberal news, CNN and otherwise, would have us believe, this narrative that they're pushing, because I do believe they are pushing a narrative. Why isn't Obama constantly on the news for doing shitty things,
Right now,
constantly being shot? No, when he was president,
he
the
was.
same amount of press was not there. None.
Oh, no, the same amount of press was not there. Absolutely not.
Didn't feel like there was a constant stream of this is why we need to hate Obama.
No, there wasn't, because Obama's administration wasn't in the news like Trump's is. And I think that's also a big problem.
That's what I feel like. The one-sidedness of news is the problem. I feel like the news shouldn't be allowed to push an agenda.
Do you know
That's what the
any
problem in this country
do
is.
you have any idea of how many people were fired or any of that in the Obama administration?
No idea because I didn't give a shit.
Well, probably just because people weren't being fired left and right. Probably just because people weren't leaking because they were doing their jobs and they had successful things to do. Like there's
I also
reasons
don't believe that there was.
there are
This might come out of context, but I also don't believe there's as many people trying to sabotage Obama as there are trying to sabotage Trump.
right. That's what I was getting to. There's a reason that Trump's administration is in the news more than Obama's. They're a less functional administration.
Losing Bravo.
Obama also didn't have a Nancy Pelosi always down his throat either.
Capturing
Yes, he
defense
absolutely
forward
did.
operations.
He had Mitch
Come on,
McConnell.
Charlie,
Who did
stand
he have?
by.
Mitch
McConnell
McConnell.
was not anywhere near the same.
What do you mean? Are you going to try and tell me right now that the House of Representatives has more power than the Senate? And in any way is more irritating? Having someone in the Senate be the House of the Senate and be on the opposite party of you is way fucking worse than having the House of the Representatives be on the opposite party of you.
I mean, the House, the only ones that can call to fruition to have the
Right, but like, you know what the Senate decides on?
impeachment.
Real shit. They actually remove you from office. They actually put in like the Supreme Court justice. Like they actually also like they are right there in all of the laws that have to be passed.
Enemy personal radar in the air.
The Senate has way more. I think they have way more like override power, and they have to like get less people together to veto
they don't
shit.
have way
The
override
Senate
power.
is OP.
So it's checks and balances.
No, dude, the Senate
They
is
are
OP
all
as
equals.
fuck. There are checks and balances. The Senate is OP as fuck.
We're taking
They're
Alpha.
e-
Captured Alpha.
That's what the checks and balances are there for.
They're
is to
not.
keep the
They're-
equalness.
We're in the lead.
They are there to
You can
keep
say
the equalness.
they're not all you want.
They are there to keep the equalness, but all of the departments I do not believe are equal. I think the powers are well distributed as they are right now, but I don't believe that all the
Securing
things
Bravo.
are equal now.
Captured Bravo.
I mean, I don't think that you could even reasonably say that the Supreme Court justice is on par with Congress. How much shit do they even decide?
Everything that goes to court.
No, they don't. They pick like a dozen cases a year,
Must be.
maybe
But
two
everything
dozen.
that goes to the Supreme Court, like I mean, that's
No, the Supreme Court often will kick cases back down and be like, we are not going to review these. These aren't worth our time.
those are stupid as fuck.
Yeah, because the branches aren't equal.
Securing Bravo.
One literally gets to decide our laws. One gets to send our armies to war, and the other one actually like they make so many few controversial case decisions and actual things that fundamentally
All
change our
three
life.
of
You
them
could name them
decide the laws.
in like series
What
of
do you
years.
mean?
Excuse me, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
All three branches to decide the laws. If a president comes forward with a law and both sides say "fuck you," and he says veto,
Wait, how would the
the
president
court
come
can
forward with a law?
literally say the president has come forward proposed the law before. And
Right, but like then how
happened.
would but like who then like drafts and writes and passes the law?
It goes to the House.
Right, it goes to Congress, and they're the ones
Same
who
as
do
it
all the
would
writing.
be if it went from Congress to Senate. It
Right.
goes from
It can,
president.
and it can, contrary to popular belief, it can absolutely bounce back and forth between the House and the Senate for a very long time.
Yeah, which then
But
equals.
they're not though, because like at the end of the day,
If one side can say no, fuck you, and send it back, and the other side can say no, fuck you, and send it back, that sounds pretty equal to me.
no, because like if the Congress ever
No?
pulled.
Okay.
No, if the Congress ever collectively pulled their heads out of their asses, they could literally pass any law they wanted. They could enact martial law without it legally being martial law. They could take all our guns away if they fucking decided. If Congress pulled their heads out of their asses and worked
That's
together
what
and
I'm
moved
saying.
efficiently,
Congress has just as much power as Senate, and you said Senate
no,
was
the
OP.
president could never come close to doing that legally. He probably couldn't even come close to doing that physically. Because that would require sending the
President has
army
the
to people's
right of
houses to take their
veto.
guns. Yeah, but you know that veto can be overridden with 2/3 party in the
By the
House, which means
judge.
no 2/3 party in the House in the Congress. No 2/3 party in the Congress. Congress can say pass it. President can say no. Congress can say fuck you. It's law. Congress is OP as fuck, and the Senate being the head of that OP
You said
division.
Senate.
Yeah, Congress is OP as
The
fuck.
House
Senate
Representatives, which
Senate
both.
is head of that division. Yeah.
Senate
The legislative has way more
Congress
power
are
than the
separate.
executive.
They're under the House of Representatives.
Yeah, okay. The Senate is the strongest of the two. Basically, the power structure, it goes, in my mind, it goes
You
legislative,
just said
executive,
if they were to put their
judicial.
hands up their ass, they could do whatever they want.
Yeah,
You said that. Those are your words.
yes, the entirety of Congress.
how
And when I
does
say
that-
Congress, Congress is both houses, the House of Reps and the Senate. That's Congress.
See, I don't see the House of Reps and the.
You don't
Senate.
see you don't see both as Congress?
No, I see them as Congress, but I don't see one has more power than the other.
Well, are there things that one can do that the other can't?
We're on Alpha, stand by.
Because if there are things that one can do that the other can't,
I think
it would
both
see
of
that
them
one would
have
be
that.
a little bit more powerful in that sense. And if one would have a lot of things that they can do that the other one can't, that they would just be outright more powerful. I don't know, from where I'm sitting, it seems like there are a lot of things that the Senate gets to do that the House doesn't even get to fucking touch.
We're taking Charlie. Friendly UAV overhead. Charlie secure.
What are you looking up?
It says right here, which body has more power? Although the Senate and the House have similar responsibilities to prove government oversight, the Founding Fathers gave them certain specialities, said Mr. Baker, the Rutgers professor.
We're taking
They
Bravo.
have very distinct and separate functions to play, he said. In the Senate, it's nominations and treaties. In the House, it's taxes and spending. Leading to the midterm elections, House Democrats were preparing for an onslaught of hearings, subpoenas, and investigations in nearly every corner of the Trump administration. The the Democrat and chairman and I don't care about that. President Trump has leveraged the Republican majority in the Senate to remake the courts. Mr. Trump came into office with more than 100 judicial vacancies. Have allowed him to fill them quickly.
Wait, so then the Senate
far.
gets to pick the courts then, right?
Enemy holds 2 objectives.
I think they find it. Yeah. I think so.
Okay, so then when you get the Senate, you get all the judges as well.
Securing Bravo.
Federal courts, the Supreme Court, with the Senate now even more solidly
Enemy holds all objectives.
under
Charlie
Republican
secure.
control.
Securing Bravo.
Aside from the Speaker of the House, the second in line after the Vice President, the President pro tempore of the Senate follows after the Speaker. But perhaps the biggest issue that is impeachment. The outlook remains largely unchanged. Republican majority in the Senate is unlikely that the House Democrats will
We've got a UAV on
try to
station.
impeach Mr. Trump by any big developments in special counsel. Investigation elsewhere. They never win the case in the Senate.
Enemy holds 2 objectives. Take them back. Enemy UAV
It
overhead.
doesn't say anywhere who has more power.
I don't know. I would just say all the judges gotta be pretty powerful. Personally.
Well, the judges is a
Good
different branch.
copy. Strike inbound.
Is what?
It's a different branch than the Senate.
No, but the Senate chooses the judges.
No hits on that run.
We're on Bravo. Stand by. Lose it out.
And the House doesn't get any say on what judges go where.
We've lost Charlie.
So it seems like in this instance, while it is the legislative having a balance on the judicial, it seems to only be the Senate that has that balance, not the House.
It's like anywhere who actually has more power.
Right, I feel like that's up for us to decide
Oh, wait,
based
it
on
is.
what powers
The
they have
House and the
assigned.
Senate are equal partners in legislative
We're holding 2. We have the advantage.
Legislation cannot be enacted without the consent of both chambers.
Yeah, so in that they're
The
equal.
Constitution grants each chamber some unique powers.
Yeah.
The Senate ratifies treaties and approves presidential appointments, with the House initiating revenue-raising bills. So the House actually creates
So the House-
bills.
Yeah, so the House goes
While
over
the
budget.
Senate picks people. No, it says House initiates bills,
You're needed at Alpha.
while the Senate ratifies treaties and approves appointments from the president.
Mhm.
We're on Bravo.
So it
Stand
sounds
by.
pretty equal to me, dude.
You're needed at
I mean, not really. I mean, well, let's think about the.
let's-
No, come on!
Just-
Don't just cut me off. Let me. I've been
I'm
letting you
gonna,
talk.
because I'm just read to you.
I know, and let's talk about the
said
thing you read.
They are equal.
Let's
You
talk about the
said-
thing you read.
No, that
Yes,
that-
let's
that-
talk about the thing you read. Okay, so you read a thing that says the Senate gets to decide on treaties and presidential picks, and then the House gets to propose bills. Right? That's what you read?
Ultimately, a law can only be passed if both Senate and
'Cause I'm-
House.
Because I'm going somewhere with that. So
Well-
if that's what you read, I would like to go somewhere with that.
Needed at Bravo.
Repeat yourself one more time. Would be fine.
So that the Senate decides presidential picks and treaties, and that the House enters bills.
Securing Charlie. Enemy
Bills
holds all
Yeah.
objectives.
and controls the money. Yes.
Right.
Taking Charlie.
So, in any state, there's a number of House reps and there's 2 senators, right?
Mm-hmm.
So any House rep who's eventually trying to be a senator will likely work with their senator, right?
Securing
Probably.
So if their senator wants them to submit a bill to be like, hey, you guys submit bills all the time. If you do this, we'll like really help with you making your career, and I'll be able to help you this, that, the
I
other
think
person.
it's politics.
So-
That's every side. That's not just the
No,
Senate, dude.
no, but
That's-
so
that's-
what
no,
I'm
that's- it's not-
what I'm trying to get at, and what I'm trying to say without just jumping straight there, is that it's not ridiculous for any senator to get a bill entered that they want. I think that that's well within a senator's
that's
power.
Politics.
Yeah, so then I
Not
think
just Senate though. That's everybody in politics. If you have something that I want and you're willing to leverage me with it, then you're gonna get what you want.
that's only everyone with politics with
That's what
direct
politics is.
that's only everyone in politics with direct leverage over House representatives.
It's politics.
I know it's politics, but when we're talking about a House representative entering a bill for
I
you,
don't agree. No, it's not. Just because you say it doesn't make it true.
Okay. I'm going to say some words, and then you tell me where my words I mess up. If we're talking about entering bills and people who have power to enter bills into law, then what we're talking about is people who have power over the people who enter those bills, i.e. people who have power over House representatives.
So everybody anywhere in politics that has any power over any person in Congress has more power than Congress, you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
That's exactly what you're saying.
It's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that the Senate has powers assigned to it.
Specifically this one group of people. Because if they have that power that anybody else could have in politics, they're the only ones that are with more strength than the House, is what you're trying to say. You can say no and you can disagree, but that's literally the groundwork you just laid at my feet.
Well, yeah, I guess I do. Through my framework, I would say that the House has more power than the executive, but I'm not saying that anybody who has power over the House has more power than the House. Please listen to me what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is that when we're talking about who has more power between the House and the Senate has powers and the House has powers. It doesn't seem like the House can influence the Senate powers, but it seems like the Senate can 100% influence the House powers. So it seems like the Senate, out of these two, is the only one with influence over all of the power. Therefore, if they have more influence over the power, that makes them more powerful. Now, you said you disagree. Wait, please.
The bills.
You said you disagree with them having more power. So, was this answer going to be how they don't have influence over the powers of the House?
Everybody in any branch of the checks and balances has power over other people in other parts of the branch if they have that power. You can breathe all heavily if you want.
I mean, I am, because
Yes,
this really feels like the
what
all
it
lives
is.
matter compared to me, like, telling you a specific phenomenon.
It's not an
And you're
all
like,
lives
anyone...
matter
No, because, like, I literally
Oh,
just
God.
defined to you a specific argument. I literally...
To a race movement. That's what you just
No, I
compared.
compare the difference of what all lives matter is, which is a protest of Black Lives Matter, because I gave you
Yes,
a specific...
protest.
I gave you a specific outline
I don't
of...
see how.
I gave you a specific outline of powers, and then you said everyone in politics has power over other people if they have that power. And I'm literally
read
talking,
you.
and I know, and I'm literally
on
talking about a
multitude of
specific
sites,
power.
They said neither has more power over the other fucking branch.
I know.
Multitude of sites.
I know that's what
And
the
you're
site
like, well,
said.
my opinion is different
Yes,
than that
I
because
know that's what the site
what
said.
I see is different. No, that's ridiculous.
We looked at what the site said. The site said the Senate had one power.
Multitude of sites.
Yes, and they all said the Senate had...
Sites.
And they all said that the Senate had X powers and the House had Y powers. And regardless of whatever information or opinion they had of it, the powers that they physically hold...
Information.
Yes, regardless of whatever opinions they have on it. Yeah.
No, you can't switch it. You
Fine,
said
yes.
whatever
I apologize for saying information, and I fully retract it, and what I meant was opinion. My bad. So, just because of what opinion they try and put on it, when you look at the facts of the... Dude, can I please speak without you interrupting me?
When you're saying stuff that I need to say information about...
You don't, though.
You're
Not
saying something that doesn't make any kind of point.
Yeah, well,
Because
maybe if
this
you let me
site-
make the fucking
multiple
point, you would
sites-
understand what point I'm
multiple
making.
sites. They were all .org.
Yes, and I
They
agree
were-
with you. You
These are
seem
all
you're
the
missing
three
where I
correct
agree with
things.
you there. You're missing where I agree with you on that. I've already agreed with you there. I get it. Multiple sites have told you that they believe that both of the houses are equal. I get that multiple people have made websites to express their opinion that they believe the houses are equal. Yes, I get that. I 100% understand that that is what you have read and ingested into your body. that these things are equal,
And
because
you
that has been
disagree
said to you.
that
I
these
do
government
disagree.
websites
And can you please
have
stop
these
Can you please stop interrupting
proofs.
me, because I'm going to explain to you where I disagree. I disagree because when you look at the actual power they have, what can they legally do? What can they do? Not what people feel about what they can do. What rights do they have,
Oh
and
my
what
God,
power
I
do they
think that's
have?
what the
One
problem
has
that
more
we're
power
having.
than the other.
I
Yeah,
think I
because
found
I'm
it
looking
was
at what they can actually do, and you're looking at other people's
said,
opinions
these are
of
the
them.
facts, and you said those aren't facts, those are opinions. And the websites, all three say the same
Yes.
facts. Those aren't facts, those are opinions. The
So
website
let's.
says,
Can you
these
please
are the facts.
be
You
clear with
say,
me? Which
those are not
ones?
facts, those are
What
opinions.
the fact is that they're equal.
The fact is they have equal responsibilities and equal push. Yes.
Okay, and when we analyze that and we look at the powers that they have, do both of those powers have the exact same amount of? Do they have control over those powers in the same sense? Do they have the same influence over those powers? Is it equal? Is it truly equal, or does one have influence over the other?
From what the information that I have gotten from a multitude of sites
Say that they're equal.
say that they're equal. Yes.
Yes. Can we please move past that point?
.org's not .com.
So
No, I'm not going to move past the facts, so you can push this narrative.
No, that's an opinion. That's literally an opinion. The fact is what they can do. Facts are what they can do. Can we move to the facts of what they can do? Of what they're legally allowed
We're
to
not
do?
going to move from my facts to your opinion facts.
Yeah,
No,
okay, sorry, let me say, can we move from your facts that this person said that they're equal to my facts of what
Multitude
the
of
founders of our country gave the powers for them to do?
Sure.
Okay.
But I don't agree that's what you're doing.
That's what I'm doing. And if I ever stop doing that, please explicitly point to what I'm doing, and don't just say, "Oh, you're pointing away from it." Please explicitly say these words. I'm being a little bit facetious because I'm a little bit angry that we can't immediately just move to the Constitution, founders, and what they want, and you want to talk about what people believe right now.
They have 50-50 votes. It's not from people that believe different things.
Yes,
no,
people believe they're equal right now.
This is this black and white. This is this black and white.
People believe they're equal right now.
Gray area.
Yeah, there are people right now who believe they're equal. Yes, and they're not. So let's look at what the founders' powers gave them, right? When you look at what the constitutional founders, the powers that they gave to the Senate, they gave the Senate the ability to ratify treaties and do picks for the president. Whatever the president picks, they oversee. Yes. And then the House, they got to enter bills.
They're also the ones that can call for the impeachment.
Yes.
They're also ones.
But when we talk about impeachment and when we talk about lawmaking, in that sense, both of them are equal because both of them have 50-50. The Senate's a little. I would personally think that for impeachment, the Senate's a little bit more overpowered because if they don't want it, it goes away. But they are 50-50 because it goes on their record. So there's argument there be there. So when we're talking about impeachment and lawmaking, they're 50-50. But in the other senses, they're not. So let's talk about the other senses where we're not, and then instead of the senses where we agree that they're 50-50. So the Senate has the ability to ratify treaties and vote on presidential picks, and the House gets to enter bills.
Let me try to ask you a question so I can completely wrap around what you're trying to argue now at this point.
I mean, I feel like I haven't gotten there, but sure.
Completely different jobs is what you're trying to say.
Yes.
They're two completely different jobs.
Yes.
Okay. And these jobs are completely different. And you're trying to, through whatever means, push that, even though it says that they have equal push through these jobs, they don't.
Yes.
Because insert opinion here.
Yes. Well, insert fact here, but yes.
No.
It's facts. No, well, because
you see opinion.
Well, what? Okay, but you have it now. So now that you understand where I'm going, can I go there? I'm gonna take that as a yes. So when you look at the powers that they have, that they don't both share that aren't equal, and there's the ratifying and the presidential pick for the Senate, and then there is the House who gets to insert bills. It doesn't seem like members of the House, because there are like 500, 400 or something, some odd members of the House, and only 200 senators, or 100 senators. 100 senators. And so there seems to be less senators than Congress people. So that's the first off. And the senators seem to be. Yeah. And so it doesn't seem like the Congress people can collectively get together and necessarily sway the opinion of their senator. But it does seem very likely for a single senator, of which there are only 2 per state, to come out and talk to a single House representative and for them to make deals and exert influence. Is that an unfair statement of me to make?
I don't see how that's relevant.
But I understand. I'm going somewhere with it. But is that an unfair statement for me to make?
I mean, if I can't see relevance, then I don't.
All right. Well, let me say it again, and you tell me if I am.
You can repeat it.
Yeah, and then you can tell me if you think that like it's a reasonable statement. Like that's all I want to know is, do you think that what I said is reasonable?
I heard you, and
right, and you're trying to say that based off
so
relevance, you're not going to answer the question.
Then I don't see reasonability.
So we're not in a fucking courtroom, dude. I'm asking you if what I said makes sense to you. Period. Does it make sense to you that in a group where you have 2 people from a state and 20 people from a state, that
So
one of the 2 people would have more influence?
Because House is more diluted, they have less power?
Less influence, yes.
So, because they have a herd of people instead of 2 people, you believe that herd of people have less power,
less influence,
because you keep saying less influence, like
yes, it's
something different than
well,
power.
it does mean something different than power, because in my mind, power is the ability to enact things done, and influence is the ability to make other people agree or work with you.
They literally just were the same thing, different wording.
Then fine. If you want to say that the ability to make people work and agree with you is power, then yes, the senator has more power than the congressperson. Fine. If you want me to word it like that, I'll word it like that for you. But I think it's a silly way to word it when we have a lot of words that mean other things. That's why I like using one word that wholly encompasses my topic instead of a whole bunch of mishmash words or one word that only partially encompasses it.
But see, disagree that the point that you're making. So that's why I probably disagree with the words that you're using.
Okay, so let's go to a state. Yeah, so let's go to a state and we'll test. We'll test how much you disagree with me. Where there are 2 people, and then there are 2 senators, and then there are 30 Congress people, right? Now, do you think that if a single person from the House of Reps came up to a senator, that they would be able to influence them or change their minds on votes that they're going to make?
I think that it depends solely on the situation. Yes.
Outside of bribery. Yeah, I'm talking about a standard situation. We're talking about a fine.
Yeah,
let me I will paint a specific situation for you. It is.
Well, see, that feels like it's pandering to the single situation.
I know. That's why I asked you generally, and then you said it was too general. So would you like to answer the general, or would you like to answer a specific?
General. I didn't say it at all was too general. I say it depends on the situation.
Right, and that's too. I'm asking you for a specific answer. Right, and
completely opposite outcome. So you say this one specific instance. Then what about the other fucking hundreds of
okay,
instances?
do you see how saying do you see how saying it's based on the situation doesn't in any way provide us with an answer nor help us move forward in the conversation? Do you see that, or do you think it adds something and helps us move forward in the conversation? Okay, so when you say that it's based on the situation, what the fuck do I do?
Usually what you do is say...
No, not usually what I do. What should I do? What should I do?
I don't know. Come up and fight your fucking argument without fucking making...
Right. So okay. So I make my argument, but without the situation that it's contextually part of. For sure.
No. See what you're doing? you're pointing a finger at something, I'll say something slightly different.
Look, man. I asked you a question. You said it's based on the situation. I gave
said
you a
it's based
situation,
on
and then you said it was
whatever's going on.
pandering. I don't know what the fuck I'm
No,
supposed to
no,
do.
no, no.
I genuinely don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do. Help me. Do I talk about specific situation? Like, genuinely. Do I talk
Well,
about the
see,
specific
you-
situation, or do we
the
just say,
specific
oh, it's general,
situation
and
that
then we
you
stick
come
our
up with
thumbs
is
up our
a
asses and
neutral
then just
situation.
sit on it?
It's not a neutral situation. You never come up with a neutral situation. You come up with your side.
Right. Well, because when I pose the neutral situation, you say it's neutral and is based on the situation. When I pose the situation, you say I'm pandering and cherry picking. There is literally, I can't fucking have a conversation in that sense. Either we talk about a specific or we talk about the general. I'm down to talk about either, but we do have to talk about one.
No. Talking about the general and talking about a neutral specific situation, completely different.
Fine. What is different between the general and the neutral situation?
The general would be, besides bribery,
That
somebody
sounds.
coming up to a random congressman
Uh-huh.
and saying,
Right.
"Hey, can I do this?" and them saying no. And then
No,
flipping
saying, "Hey,
and
can you
saying,
do
yeah,
this
that's
for me?"
general. That's like what?
Okay, good. So good. So then you understand what I'm talking about then. We have one congressperson, House of Reps, who walks up to a senator and says, "Hey, can you do this for me?" Do you think it's likely that the senator just does it for them?
I'm not in politics. I couldn't 100%.
Wow, dude. Do you think?
That's,
What is your opinion
do
on
I
the matter?
think with the little bit of knowledge that I actually have.
Yes, the little bit of knowledge you
trying to
actually have that I have access to and I'm communicating to you with. What do you think would happen?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay, if you have no idea, can I tell you what I think would happen?
I guess that's all we're gonna be able to do is for me to get.
I mean, yeah, we can
Your
tell you what
opinion.
you think, what I think. We could Google it, but this doesn't seem like something you could specifically
Googling
Google because
it
it seems to be a
doesn't
bigger
mean Google.
question of psychology. We could probably Google history stuff for it. We could probably make a pattern. But yes, all you can do is talk about your opinions and your beliefs. All I can do is talk about my opinions and beliefs. So my opinion of when it's a person in the House of Reps who is
I already know what your
asking
opinion is.
who is asking a senator for something, the senator is more likely going to say no or maybe if it doesn't already directly line up with what they want. But if a senator comes up to a House of Reps person, they could convince them to agree with something that may not line up with what they want because it helps them with their career later. I think that's not an unreasonable stance. I think once you have that stance, it's not unreasonable to say that if the powers that the House have is inserting a bill, and bills get inserted all the time, then it's not unreasonable to say that a senator could influence power for a congressperson to introduce a bill that they may or may not have introduced, which would
You heard what
essentially,
you said, right?
yes,
Once
may
you
or
have
may
this
not.
Opinion, it's gonna be really understandable for you to also have
Yes.
this other opinion.
Yes, once you
Okay.
understand that people can, senator.
No. Don't change it from this opinion to this opinion. Tell.
Yes, I
Once you
said,
understand
I said those
No,
words. I
that's-
said once you understand this opinion, you can understand this other opinion. Would you
Once
like me
you
to say the
have this
opinions
opinion.
explicitly?
You said
Yes, once you have this opinion, it's more
Not
likely to
once you
understand the
understand
other
this.
opinion. Yes. Yes.
okay. That's it. Feels
Once
like
you
I'm just
have the
contradicting
opinion-
opinions, and I can't argue an opinion with you.
Once you have the opinion that senators have more influence over congresspeople than the other way around, it's very easy to conclude that senators can get congresspeople to submit bills for them. It's very easy.
That's like
It's a very
you
easy
saying
thing to
once you have
conclude.
the opinion that black people aren't humans, that you can easily have the opinion that they could be slaves again. That's
Right,
ridiculous.
right. So my question would be, is that you simply don't believe that senators have more power over congresspeople than congresspeople have over senators? Would that be where you
Is that
disagree?
What I've said this entire time.
Okay,
That's what
cool.
I've
So then
said
that's something. So
literally
then that's something.
repeatedly on a
So then that's
fucking
something. So
button.
then that's something we can look into. Let's see
I've
if.
literally repeated that repeating.
Let's see if
You're making me restate it.
senators have more influence over Congress people than Congress people have over senators.
No,
Let's
not
see if that's
Congress
something.
people. Congress
What would we look at?
over Senate. Period. Not one person over one person.
Then you haven't
that.
heard me at all the whole time.
Oh my god, dude, I don't care anymore. Whatever.
Dude, I'm talking about individuals.
Don't care anymore. I was talking about the department as a whole.
Yes.
You said, well, obviously, but this one. And it's, no. The department
As a whole.
Congress
Okay,
versus
I'm gonna
Senate as a whole, they are equals.
I'm
You
gonna
said,
write it up on the board.
oh, I'm not arguing that.
I'm gonna write it out on the board for you. It's really easy because you look at the body.
I'm over it.
You go to the body.
I don't care.
You look at how much the
You're
power
gonna
the
write it out.
body has. You look at the people who make up the body and what power they have, and when all the culminative power that the people have that make up the body is the power that the total body has. It's very easy. I don't know why you're acting like I'm being ridiculous. Why the power?
You are.
The individuals. Yes, the individuals have power over individuals,
not at
and
all
that
what I was
collective
saying.
power gives power to the
Change
body.
it to that. That's the reason why we get in these arguments. You get mad saying, I didn't change anything.
And then you can never tell me where I changed from or to.
I just literally did twice.
Look, man.
I said, this group and this group are equal. You said, well, and each one the individual.
Okay,
No,
let's go through this
group
again.
group.
Yes, yeah. The group has more power over them. Yes. I don't know why you think I changed on that. I didn't change on that ever. I'm still there. Still right the fuck there. I haven't
This group and
moved
this
an
group are
inch.
equal, so it's the whole point
Yeah, they're
of
not
what this
equal,
argument
and I
started.
haven't moved.
It's the
I haven't moved at all. I've never switched on anything. I don't know why you think I'm fucking switching. I haven't.
No,
I've never
your stance is
changed.
Switching. That's not what I said. Your stance isn't the part that I was saying. When I said this group as a whole versus this group as a whole, you then said, well, if you look at the individuals in each group, this one is more diluted. So this group, therefore, has less power,
Right.
which I don't agree with. Just because each person has a little bit less power than each person on the other side doesn't mean together, as a whole, they don't.
No, it doesn't mean that together as a whole they don't. You're right. You've made it there. It does not mean that just because some other party has power over them doesn't mean that they themselves collectively don't have power. Yay. You thought I disagreed with you on that?
That's what the argument has been this whole time.
No, it hasn't.
That's what I'm saying.
You
See,
have
this
not
is what
heard me.
This is literally what I've been saying.
Yeah, you
I
have.
will argue
You
with
haven't heard. You haven't
We'll be
heard me.
arguing
If you
from
think,
completely
look,
different.
if you think I disagreed with you
That's
on
what I'm
that, you
saying.
haven't been listening to my words.
Oh my god, dude, I'm done with this argument. Then
Dude,
because
you
you've been
genuinely
arguing two
haven't been listening to my
completely different
words.
fucking points.
Yeah, because you're not listening to me. Because you cut me off, and I let you cut me off. And when we watch this back, I'm going to see how much you cut me off, because I've been intentionally allowing you to do it.
Over it.
I'm going to say it one last time, and if you're truly over it,
There.
don't interrupt me. Yes, the Senate has more power as a body over the House. When you look at, there are some powers that they share equally, like making laws and impeaching presidents. Those are powers that they share equally. When you look at other powers that they don't share equally, you'll realize that while they do have separate powers, one body has an influence over the other body's powers. Either as individuals or collectively, they do. To imply that the Senate has no power to submit bills is silly. So when you look at the powers they have that are not equal, one has complete influence over all of them and the other one does not, implying that the one that does have power over all of them has more power. It's that simple. It's not saying the one that has less power doesn't have any power. It's not that. It's not the negative of anything I've said. It's not the contrary of anything I've said. It's literally what I've said.